Stop asking me to stay. I can't love you in the dark.
What's your drink of choice?
A Negroni.
I was going to say the same thing. Yeah.
Magliato.
Mm.
With Prosecco in it.
Oh, stunning.
Yeah.
Can we please talk? I know that you're mad at me, but I feel like this isn't gonna get any better until we talk. Some of us have papers to grade. Go away. Not until you talk to me. Just, like, let me apologize. You think an apology is gonna fix this? I wish you would at least let me explain. No, because you know what? You don't owe me an explanation. Who you're involved with is absolutely none of my concern or my business. And I don't really think I want to hear about it, considering who it's about. I'm not with him, okay? We have a very complicated history. That's all. Is that all you want it to be? Just complicated past? I don't know how to answer that. I really don't, because I don't know. I really don't know.
Real? Or is it just happening inside my head?
Of course it's happening inside your head, Harry. Why should that mean that it's not real?
Wait.
It's a simple yes or no question. Do you or do you not currently have feelings for him? I think everybody has feelings for the first person that they ever loved. I know that I have always cared about him, and I still care about him, but I haven't seen him since Lily. Since her and James. And I don't know what that means, and I don't know how I feel, and I don't know what to do with that. Of all people in the world, in the school, why him? You were there. You know what happened. I could. Absolutely can do that, no problem. I'm gonna talk about each of them individually because some of them had different reasons from others. Also, please don't mind this. I got bleach on my head when I was redoing my hair. I promise this isn't like something on the side of my head, it's just my hair. First off, I will start off with my Pirates of the Caribbean DR. I decided to get rid of my Pirates of the Caribbean DR because I feel like I'm getting the vibe of a Pirates of the Caribbean DR from a different DR. Anyone who's followed me on here for a while might remember that I talked about having an Our Flag Means Death DR, and the script for that is completely finished and everything, and I really feel like I got the vibes of what I wanted out of a pirate and adventuring DR from that. With Pirates of the Caribbean, 100% I was just going for the pirate vibes. I didn't really have any emotional investment in any of the characters. So it was really hard to figure out where I wanted to place myself or what I wanted to do or who I wanted to attach myself to, because I just didn't care that much. With Our Flag Means Death, I have a lot of personal connections with the entire crew, and I have a lot of emotional investment with the crew. So I feel like I actually can attach to that and care about that and have what I cannot have with Pirates of the Caribbean. So I decided to retire it because there's nothing anchoring me to it. Second is my House of the Dragon DR. I have decided to not shift there anymore because I have stopped watching the show. Season 2 just aired, the first episode anyway, and I just didn't give a shit. I felt like I was really, really in love with that show when it started, and I feel like some stuff went in a direction I wasn't super happy with, mostly to do with Damon, and it's just going in a direction in Season 2 that I'm not cool with, and I just figure if I can't even bring myself to watch the show because I'm so bleh with it, why would I want to shift there, you know? I feel like it's just starting to head in the direction that Game of Thrones headed in the very later seasons, just like super, super early. And I don't really want to shift to a place that I find super frustrating. Thirdly, my Game of Thrones DR, it's very similar to my reasoning for my House of the Dragon DR. I did watch all of Game of Thrones, but it was an incredibly frustrating show, and I really don't want to have to, I guess, shift to a place that, like, irritates the shit out of me. It was a very similar mindset to the fact that a couple of years ago I had a Once Upon a Time DR, but I decided to take it off of my list because Once Upon a Time was frustrating for me, and I have a lot of very real trauma to do with being in that fandom, so I had removed it, and this is for similar reasons. I think also something that really gets me with Game of Thrones is the fact that I don't know if there is a way to script out any of the drama from that has to do with, like, violence and politics, because essentially the whole show is violence and politics, and I very much am aware that shifting is very real, and I don't want to live through all that violence and politics, so I just thought it was a safer bet to remove it. Number 4, my Credence DR. I have a lot of issues with Credence the book as a whole. I was really only going for Jake because I love Jake and he was my favorite character. It felt like it wasn't enough reason to go because I hated everyone else in the book and I hated the ending of the book. So I may have like a smaller DR or put him into my like shifting hotel, which is a video that will come out soon after this one. Because I do still want to have interactions with Jake, but it doesn't feel worth it enough to have a full Credence DR. With my Kami-sama Kiss DR, I'm not gonna lie, I have ADHD and I can't remember most details about that show. That's the full reason. I haven't seen the show in a while. I added it to my list after I saw the show because I loved it, but my memory from my ADHD is so bad, I've forgotten the details and character names completely. So I just feel like that's not deep-rooted in me enough for me to remember fully, so there was no point in keeping it. And then there is my My Hero Academia DR. I know some people that are shifting to My Hero Academia, so this is probably going to be a conversation of sadness later. I just feel like I don't care enough. I can't even bring myself to finish the show because my interest... I don't want to say my interest in it peaked a while ago because I do still want to eventually finish the show. I just feel like, I don't know, it's kind of like when there's a song played on the radio too much and you like it at first, and then when you hear the song 800 times, you're like, oh my god, I hate this song. It's like that. I feel like My Hero Academia was so everywhere and everyone was watching it, and so many people that I knew were continuing to try to get me to finish the show so that they could talk to me about it, that the pathological demand avoidance within me because of my ADHD was like, I would rather die than finish the show. And it's kind of turned into the concept of I don't even want to look at the show. I don't even really want to think about the show. I have merch in my room for characters from the show that I do like and who I was going to shift for, but it just doesn't feel worth it enough. I don't really hold on to a lot of detail about it because my brain kind of wants to let it go, and I just kind of don't care that much. I probably will eventually finish the show one day on my own time, but it might be a few years from now. So I just don't feel enough joy in it to give enough of a shit. My second to last one on the list was Vampire Academy. I was obsessed with the Vampire Academy book series when I was a teenager, and I really feel like that's the whole reason I put it on there, was because if teenage me had known about shifting, I would have gone to Vampire Academy. And I'm realizing that's not a super great mindset. That was the same reason that I used to have Once Upon a Time on my roster of places to go, because teenage me would have gone, but adult me wouldn't. And I really need to learn that fulfilling like teenage dreams is not always going to be fun for adult me. I do still have the books. I can see them from here on my bookshelf, and maybe I will want to shift there again when I reread them. But I feel like the series is not going to hit the same to me as an adult as it did when I was a kid. And I don't know. I do still love it and feel nostalgic about it. But I feel like, I don't know, it's just not hitting the way that it would have when I was a teenager and would have been really excited about it. I really want to try harder to only have DRs that bring me joy and I feel excited about. And I don't think I've ever actually felt excited about going there. I just had thought it was a good idea to go. And the last one on my list was my Vampire Diaries / Originals DR. I think I realized quite quickly that the 3 people that I was interested in having as love interests were the only characters I actually enjoyed from the show. I knew that if I went, it was either going to be like a reverse harem or love square or poly situation, because there was no physical way for me to choose between Damon, Elijah, and Klaus. And then the more I thought about it, the more I realized I had no way to put myself into that storyline and that world, because I would be connected to everyone else somehow, and I don't like anyone else in the show. I'm not shitting on anyone who likes other people in the show. You are totally entitled to your favorite characters, but I don't like Elena. I don't like Catherine. I don't like Stefan. I don't like Caroline or Bonnie or Jeremy or Tyler or Matt or pretty much anybody else. I have slight like for Haley and Rebecca, and that's pretty much it. You know, my favorite characters were Damon and Elijah and Klaus, and I kind of liked Rebecca and Haley and Cammie, but I didn't really give a damn about anybody else in those shows. And so I just knew it wasn't worth it. I did still want to interact with Damon, Elijah, and Klaus, so I decided I would put them separately into my shifting hotel, which again I will talk about in a video. It's actually already in my drafts because my mutual Corey had tagged me in her video talking about her shifting hotel, and I figured I would explain it to my followers. So just like with Jake, I will be putting Damon, Elijah, and Klaus into my shifting hotel video. Not the video, like the shifting hotel itself. But it's just not worth it to go to a place where I hate everyone else. So I just decided it wasn't worth it. So that is why all of those DRs are being pulled from my roster of places to go. I believe my list of existing DRs, not including my hotel DR, still amounts up to 12. But those like 8 are getting pulled.
I'm almost me again, she's almost you. And I wouldn't know where to start, sweet music playing in the dark. Be still my foolish heart, don't ruin this on me. I wouldn't know where to start, sweet music playing in the dark. Be still my foolish heart, don't ruin this on me. Tell me who would I be thanking them? The numbered lovers of Duke Ellington. Do I owe each kiss to lip and cheek as soft as chicken sing? Let's get lost and let the good good times roll. Let smoke rings from this paper doll blow sweet and thick till every thought of it don't mean a thing. I got some color back, she thinks so too. I laugh like me again, she laughs like you.
One of my favorite things to see on the internet is I'll see these videos that talk about like being born in the real world when I was meant to be in a TV show or in a book, or one of these videos talking about, wouldn't it be crazy to go to Hogwarts and do blah blah blah, I hate the real world. Like these things that imply like, oh my god, I wish I could be in this fictional universe instead of here, and there's like 58 shifters in the comments being like, who's gonna tell them? Or a bunch of people being like, it might be crazy what I'm about to say, but hear me out. Or there's like people in the comments being like, haha, yeah, right, looks at my script. Like, shifters being summoned into non-shifters content that is so shifting core is my favorite thing. Yeah, I do remember, Sev, okay? I was there. I haven't done anything. I don't know what you want me to say. I can't control how I feel. You, of all people, knows that who you fall for is so out of your control. You do not get to bring that up to me. You do not get to bring her up to me. You're mad because I'm right. We both made very poor decisions when we were young in a lot of aspects. This isn't something I'm doing on purpose. I haven't even done anything. At this point, he's just an old friend. I'm supposed to be your friend. This isn't how you treat friends. I don't know what I'm supposed to say. Then just go.
Run my door and I say, hello Satan, I believe it is time to go. Me and the devil walking side by side. Me and the devil.
Remember, this is not just a story. This is our future.
How the hell you spell chauffeur? Chauffeur. Ooh, fancy pants, Rich McGee over here. Fuck you.
What the hell was that? What? What do you mean, what? That out there with Fury. What the hell was that? You're saying hi? I wasn't even fucking aware that you knew Fury, let alone enough to call him Nicky? Yeah, I've always called him Nicky. He knows that. He may know that, but I do not know that. I had a life before I met you. Like, what are you freaking out about? I've known you for almost a decade, and this has never come. How do you know him? When did you meet him? God, I was like 10? Yeah, I think I was 10. And that hasn't come up before now? It wasn't prevalent. You never asked, it never came up. I haven't really seen him in a while. I don't know what you want from me. An explanation as to why you just called Nick Fury Nicky in front of a bunch of superheroes would be nice.
Ooh, you look so broken when you cry. One more and then I say goodbye. Sometimes I think about is you. Late nights in the middle of June. He waves been faking me out.
Please don't mind the fact that my hair's all over the place and I look a little crazy. I just got out of the shower. But I was tagged in a video by Corey, who I will tag in the description, where she was explaining to someone who commented on one of her videos about what a hotel DR is and what her hotel DR is about. And considering the fact that she's the one who taught me what a hotel DR is, and I stole the idea, and now I have a hotel DR, I figured it would only be fair to also create a video talking about what a hotel DR is and share it with my lovely followers. So that's what this is. The way that I view and explain a hotel DR is that it's a DR that is kind of can be described like a waiting room, but it connects to other DRs. Each room in the hotel is assigned to a place or usually a person that you want to see without experiencing like the full world of that DR. I feel like it's really good for places that like there's a person that you want to shift for, but not necessarily the world that you want to shift for. I feel like it's a really good thing if you have people that you want to shift for in dangerous or dystopian fandoms that are like the Hunger Games or the Maze Runner or the Walking Dead or Divergent, or like something where it's like not safe for you to be there, but there is someone that you are wanting to have a relationship with. Corey referred to it as playing life on peaceful, and that's kind of how I view it. I also have it for ones that I'm not interested in the whole world, just in a certain person. One that I really like to use as an example for that is if anyone has ever seen the movie Ocean's 8, I am absolutely in love with Cate Blanchett's character Lou Miller, and I would love to be Mrs. Lou Miller, but there is nothing in me that feels like I want to actually fit myself into a world where I would probably have to be part of a group of thieves, but I just want to be with this one thief, you know what I mean? So it's really helpful for stuff like that if there's a specific person that you're wanting to be with, but you either don't want to fit yourself into the world or you don't know how to fit yourself into the world. Corey actually used characters from the Vampire Diaries as an example, and I think this is a great example because I do this with my Vampire Diaries love interest, because I don't really want to insert myself into the world because it is so complicated, and I actually don't like most of the characters from TVD, so I would rather just have like rooms for the characters that I enjoy. And if I want to have situations where like we go and hang out with people that do appear in the show, then that's fine. But other than that, it's like I would rather just play life on peaceful in a relationship with certain people. The way that mine is set up is there is a room that looks exactly like a room in a hotel that I've stayed in multiple times that I know very well, and that is where I would wake up. And then when I am in the hotel, the floors are set up in specific ways that I would remember. Like if there's multiple characters from a certain movie or TV show franchise, they're all on one floor. Or if there's all of these characters that have one actor, it's that floor, whatever. Or like a bunch of people who are from fantasy franchises, however you would want to set that up. But I know that I have a few different floors that are set up like that. And then instead of room numbers on the outside of each door, it is the name of the person on each one. And there's a lobby with a receptionist, and you can figure out who's on which floor and if they're in, that kind of stuff. And it is kind of like the TARDIS from Doctor Who. It is bigger on the inside. It does not just lead to a hotel room. It like leads to that DR and that world. It's like that person's house and your life in that house with that person. Now, I haven't decided really if I want these people to know that I have shifted. Part of me thinks I should, because I haven't had any regular DRs where these people will know that I've shifted. I kind of want to tell the people in the hotel or like set it up that they already know. I haven't decided yet, but that's basically what it is. I learned what it is from Corey and then kind of tweaked it for my own benefit. And that's the beauty of shifting. You can tweak it for what you need it to be. So if you're interested in the idea of a hotel, that is what it is. Just remember, when you feel bad about yourself, just remember that your high school bully is stuck in this reality and you can go fuck your comfort characters. They can't do that shit. You won, babe.
My bones will bleed, my flesh will flee. So hell, my light, best flame
Okay, I think that I have kept you guys waiting long enough to talk about my second mini shift. I was really feeling some type of way about it after it happened and was quite emotional about it. So I needed to take like an entire day to process it because it felt more intense than my first mini shift, which was actually like a year ago. It was like the last day of July 2023, I'm pretty sure. So the fact that it happened like 3 weeks away from being a year since the last one, and it was with the same method and the same meditation, was so scary. For anyone in the comments who had been asking what method it was, I was using the void state method, and I was using Alunir's void state 2.0 meditation, which is the same one that I used last year when I mini shifted, and it's my favorite meditation to use. My thing is I can't always use the same meditation like more than one night in a row, because then it's like I remember it and I almost have to let my ADHD kick in a little bit and forget the details of the meditation before I can do it again. So I was doing the method, and at first I didn't think it was working, and I was like, oh, I'm just, feeling kind of weird. I'd gone to bed early. I was feeling kind of funky. And then I noticed that everything was spinning, and I was like, okay, all right, I'm feeling something. And it was almost like I was spinning this way, but the world was spinning around me this way. So it was like if you went to the top of a hill and you rolled down on your side, it was like that, except the world was going in the opposite direction. Very spinny, very weird feeling, but it was also kind of cool and fun. And I was like, okay, this feels okay. I'm safe. It's fine. And then as that started happening, I started getting this feeling like I was falling, but not like free falling through air. I felt like I was kind of like descending in water, which kind of related to what she was talking about in the meditation. So I was like, okay, this makes complete sense. I'm fine. And a really important thing to me is when you feel kind of freaked out or overwhelmed during a method, just remind yourself you're completely safe, that your body is completely safe, your spirit is completely safe, that you're fine. And that really helped me mentally during that, because I was starting to get like overwhelmed and excited. After the weird descending in the water feeling, I started feeling like my body was tingly, but not the normal like shifting tingles that I get. It felt very much almost like water rushing over my skin, which made sense because I felt like I was falling through water. And then not long after that, my entire body, I couldn't feel it. And it's very rare for me to get the numb body thing. And I was like, here we go. But I couldn't feel my body at all. And it was kind of exhilarating, and my heart was racing, and I was freaking out, and I was like, what is coming next? And then at one point during this, I started to feel air conditioning from like that over there. It's just a wall. But I was trying to shift to my MCU-DR, and anyone who saw me talking about my mini shift either on here or on my YouTube channel last year knows that I saw light from over there when I was trying to shift. And it was kind of like a curtain moving back and forth, because there is a balcony door over there with a curtain in front of it in my MCU-DR. And with the wind blowing up from the vent, it was moving that. Well, I felt like I was feeling like the air conditioning from the vent, and it was only on that side. And I was like, okay, all right, we're here. This is working. We're good. And then I heard, it's so stupid, the sound of like a drawer opening and closing, but it sounded like it was from another room, and like it was a kitchen drawer that was like filled with cutlery. Like it sounded like forks clanging together in this drawer. And I know it wasn't in my house because no one was upstairs at the time. Everyone was asleep. And I also am hard of hearing and had earbuds jammed in my ears with a method going, and my fan was on and my door was closed. So I wouldn't have heard anything from the kitchen from back here. And so I was like, okay. In my DR, I live with Tony. So in my head, it was like, even if it's not what I think it is, lie to yourself to convince yourself you're there, and then you'll get there. Fake it so you make it. And so I was like, okay, what I'm hearing is Tony in the kitchen. Tony is up before me for some reason. He was working through the night. He's probably getting coffee. And I was trying to continue about my shit, listening to the method, trying to be calm. All the while, the double spinning thing is still happening. And then I heard a door opening and closing. And then I was like, what the fuck? And then I heard it opening and closing again. I tried to make up a reason to myself again why I would be hearing the opening and closing, and decided he was like going in and out of the bathroom or something. And I was like, okay, convincing myself further. It's just Tony moving around in the house. I am in our house. I am in my room in our house. Everything is fine. And then, it was so creepy and so scary. I heard a man talking. I live with family, but it was not my dad and it was not my brother. And I couldn't tell if it was Tony or someone else, but it was a man, a whole ass man. And it sounded like he was right next to me, but I was too scared to move or take my earbuds out. But it sounded like a man who was right next to me. And I felt like I was going to have a heart attack, because while this is going on, I was like, I just heard a door opening and closing. I just heard the kitchen drawers. I can feel air conditioning. And at this point, I was already starting to feel like I was in a room that was a bigger space, which also happened to me last year. And I was like, I feel like I'm in a bigger room. I feel air conditioning. And now I'm hearing someone talking. And I just kind of like stopped. I didn't move. I just was barely breathing. And in my head, I was starting to get really freaked out by the talking. And I kind of had to remind myself that I was safe again. And I was like, if someone is in the room with me, it's just Tony. I know that I'm safe with Tony. Tony cares about me. Tony would never hurt me. He's not going to do anything to me. If he is in my room for some reason, it's because he's come in to try to talk to me and found that I am asleep, or he's trying to wake me up. But I know he's not in my room. I know he's not with me right now, because I scripted I would wake up alone in my bedroom. So I am completely safe because no one is in my room right now. And I had to repeat that to myself a couple times before the talking stopped. And then when the man started talking again, I don't know if it was Tony, but I'm going to keep assuming it was because he's the only person I live with. It sounded like he was outside. It sounded like he was in the hallway outside of the room I was in. But it didn't sound like, I got the feeling he was not talking to me. I didn't feel like I was being addressed. It felt like either he was talking to Jarvis or like he was talking to somebody on the phone. It felt like he was just talking to someone like out in the hallway passing my room. Like it kind of faded in, almost like he was coming past my room and then faded out like he was walking past it. I don't feel like I was being addressed. I feel like he was just talking to someone near me. And so at this point, I'm freaking the fuck out because I've now heard 3 different sounds and I have felt something and I feel aware that I'm in a bigger room, and I was trying to really affirm hardcore to this. I was just like, I'm in my room, in my DR bedroom. I can do this. I can open my eyes. I can do this. It's fine. And then my body started to become aware, but I was not in this bed. I don't know how to explain it, because my bed in my DR is extremely similar to this one. It's the same bed frame, same mattress, same like sheets and everything, but like the stuff on the bed is not the same, because I have a lot of plushies in this reality. In that reality, I don't think I have like this amount of shit. If I do have this amount of shit, it's mostly pillows. I have a lot of pillows. I know I have like a full body pillow and a lot of blankets and stuff, but I feel like if I have any plushies on my bed, it's like 1 or 2. This is like fucking 30. And it started to feel like the stuff that was like underneath my sides and under my arms didn't feel like plushies. They felt like they were shaped like pillows. And I just like felt like I was kind of actually adjusted differently than I was here. Like I felt like I was slightly not in the same position. And I was like, and I was freaking the fuck out. And at that point, as I felt like I was really starting to accept that I was not here and I was somewhere else, I felt this thing that threw me off from my mini shift last time, and it threw me off this time. It felt like someone was leaning against my mattress. Almost like someone was standing next to my bed and leaning their leg onto my mattress and putting their weight on it, almost like they were watching me sleep. This scared the fuck out of me this time and last time, to the point that I couldn't focus. And it started to feel like they were going like this, like they were kind of like lightly bouncing off of my bed while standing next to me. And I kept trying to do the thing I did before, where I was like, no one's in the room with you. You're completely safe. No one is in the room with you. Tony is not in the room with you. You are going to wake up alone. No one is in your room. You are asleep in your room. You're fine. And it started to freak me out so much because it didn't stop, that I ended up forcing myself to be aware of my body again, like all the way. Pulled my leg up. Thought I pulled my leg up in my DR. Guess I pulled my leg up in my CR. Because then I became fully aware of my body. My bed felt like my bed again. And the meditation ended about that time, and I like ripped my eye mask off and I was here. The AC had stopped. I couldn't hear anything. I couldn't feel anything. I was just here. But I was so much closer than I was last time. And my goal for next time isn't even to fully shift. It's just to open my fucking eyes. So that was what happened during my second mini shift ever.